We got home late last night with this chassis. We got the front axle reinstalled up underneath of here. And I mean, all this is going to come back apart. We put it together just to make it easy to get home. But so we got it back together, and got it all rolling down the road here. And it towed really nice. Um, did notice before we pulled off that there's some lower bars here that are missing, so we'll have to source those. There was some on the other chassis at the junkyard that we could probably get, but I don't know if they're bent because this piece here in the junkyard was broken. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So we had to chain the axle so that it didn't move around on us. But we got it home, and it was late, so we put a little light and a triangle on the back to make sure we didn't get run over, because as you can tell, this is a pretty long rig here, which is good. That's a good thing. So what we're gonna do when we redo this thing is we're gonna flip these tanks around. We'll put this tank on the other side and that tank on this side, so that the fillers are in the rear, behind the sleeper, so that it'll be easier to fuel up. So the sleeper will probably come to right here somewhere. So that'll put all the tank in the filler in the back, which will be good. I think we got enough fuel line to do that without an issue, because I think the fuel pickups here are almost in the middle, so I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. And but yeah, we got it here. I don't know if y'all noticed in the junkyard, but this step plates and all that's aluminum, and that will all get polished up just because polish is cool. And then I can't wait to polish on these tanks and these wheels. And these are the big triangle hole wheels. And when we were looking at the chassis, I thought that I saw them on a rack there at the yard, but when we got to looking and I didn't see them. So if we can't find, I did see some wheels like this that were hub piloted wheels. So if that's all he's got at the yard, then we'll upgrade the front hubs to piloted hubs and put the piloted wheels on the front. I want matching wheels all the way around, and I really like the big triangles. And there's 8 aluminums on the rear here, so just cool stuff. But like I said, we got it all here, and I'm gonna pull it up and pressure wash it off just because I want to, and then we'll probably pull this core motor out. It's a 3406E, and build a stand for it. It had a broken piston skirt. This truck, when it came to the junkyard, was a complete running truck, and it just got parted out over time. But the oil pan's missing, and some other parts, a spacer plate and rockers and push rods off the top. But we are gonna build this motor eventually, and we'll source the missing parts. And these motors are basically the same motor as the B model that's in this Kenworth, and that Kenworth back there in the background. But it's an electronic injection, where the B models are mechanical injection. You guys, most of you guys that watch know what I'm talking about, and those that don't, this has some electronic controls on it, and the B models are all mechanical injection. So it's just little simpler of a system. And I talked to the guy that I got the Kenworth, the 95 Kenworth from, and he's got a B model. He had the B model in the Kenworth, and he had a day cab Pete with the E model in it. And he actually said the B model got better fuel mileage, which I kind of find hard to believe, but that's what he claimed anyway. So, which it doesn't matter here nor there. They're both million-mile motors, and really good, strong motors. And it's easy to get these motors are rated like 4.25 from the factory, and it's easy to get 550 plus out of them. So that's kind of the goal. The cat motors are really torquey. A lot of guys like Cummins, but like cats, you know. So we're, like I said, get it up here, get it pressure washed and cleaned up, and just see what we got with the cab off of it. And this is a 95 model chassis, just like that Kenworth back there. The exhaust runs exactly like that Kenworth back there, and it needs elbows and it needs some flex, which I replaced every bit of this, the Y and the elbows and everything on that Kenworth back there. So that's easy stuff. So that's stuff that'll happen down the road. I think this is the factory pipe is 5. I think this truck's going to end up with 6-inch stacks on it. So there'll have to be a reducer adapter, or whatever you want to call it, 5 to 6 inch to go in it, because that's what's on Boots' truck here is 6s, and just the sound that comes out of these pipes just sounds so much better. So it's definitely, because Leroy back there, he's got 5s on him, and I mean, he sounds good, but the sound of Victoria here is just so much better with the 6-inch stacks on them. And I think anything bigger than 6, I mean, if you look at it, you can see that it gets in the way of your visibility. So anything bigger than, I don't see how guys drive 7 and 8-inch stacks. And to me, it keeps them from looking as tall as what they actually are, because they're so big around. And we want to probably gonna run 13 5-inch stacks on this thing, just because it looks cool. And with that flat top sleeper, it's really gonna look cool. So, and the point of this truck is being cool and modern, and so that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna pull this thing up here and wash it up and get it ready. But you can see that, like I said, the cab will come right about here somewhere. I wish I could get it marked where I could stand back and show you the mark. Maybe I can. It'll be right about where the fuel lines come out at. So there's going to be a lot of frame rail there. This thing is going to look super stretched. It's going to be really cool. So you can see the cab will end up right at, the elbows come out right behind the cab, or right at the edge of the cab. So right at the edge of the cab. So the elbows are where the cab stops, and then 36 inches back from that is where the sleeper will fall. And it's gonna really look cool. So y'all hang tight. We've got a lot going on. Christopher's ready to get this motor out and put it on build a stand for it, so we can get that kind of out of the way, and then we'll start cleaning everything up and getting ready to to rebuild the suspension and paint everything up and everything. So that's where we're going with it. So it's gonna hopefully go really quick from here on out, but we'll see. So y'all stay tuned.